The Lazarus Journal. 5 Secrets Unearthed When Life Seemed Over. The Whisper of a Second Chance. Arthur Ainsworth. 72 years etched onto a face defeated by regret. Stared at his reflection. Golden years? They felt more like lead. They say this time is for peace. But what if the most vital secrets to a truly rich life, not of money, but of meaning, are ones most people stumble upon only when the hourglass is nearly empty? What if the life you think you've lived is just a prelude to the one you could? He was tidying his late wife Evelyn's desk, a task he'd avoided for months, when his fingers brushed against an unfamiliar, dusty leather-bound journal. He'd never seen it before. The first page, in an elegant, faded script, whispered a chilling invitation. To whomever finds this, may these words reach you before the final sunset. In the next few minutes of reading this tale, you'll journey with Arthur as he uncovers 5 truths from this Lazarus Journal. Revelations so potent, they don't just promise to fill his empty days, but to resurrect a life he thought was long buried, if he dares to face them. Arthur was a man adrift in a sea of past failures, his grand house an empty monument to a life that felt hollow. So many walk this path of quiet desperation, blind to the simple shifts that could change everything. Don't be one of them. What forgotten wisdom lay within these brittle pages? And more importantly, can a man who believes his life is over truly begin again? The Gilded Cage of Hours. Arthur's hand trembled as he opened the journal to the first entry, the ink surprisingly vibrant despite its age. The heading read, Lesson the First, The Tyranny of Illusory Riches. He actually scoffed. He'd amassed a fortune, hadn't he? What could this relic possibly teach him about riches? The elegant script of Mr. Thorne, the journal's author, lamented years squandered chasing wealth, a pursuit that left his coffers full but his hourglass devastatingly empty. A sharp, unwelcome sting of recognition pierced Arthur. A retired CEO. His days were now a meticulously curated collection of pointless committee meetings, activities that made him feel important, yet left a persistent, gnawing hollowness. Wasted potential, really. One dreary afternoon, a scheduled charity gala planning meeting was abruptly canceled. Irritation prickled. With time to kill, a concept that suddenly felt foreign, Arthur wandered into a small, vibrant community art studio. Colors exploded from canvases. A quiet energy hummed. There he met Lyra, young, almost ethereal in her frailty. Her eyes burned with fierce, unyielding light as her fingers danced across a sketch pad. I have limited time, she stated, her intensity captivating. But limitless canvases. An unexpected, almost heated debate sparked. Arthur, ever the pragmatist, argued for productive use of time, his lifelong mantra. Lyra countered, her voice soft yet firm, championing the profound use of moments. Her words, simple yet piercing, were daggers to his carefully constructed worldview. Then, the challenge, delivered with unnerving clarity. Your calendar is full, Mr. Ainsworth, but is your life? He left, unsettled, Lyra's words echoing Thorne's lament. Empty achievements felt like a heavy cloak. That night, insomnia. He stared at his schedule, each entry a testament to his busyness. Profound nausea washed over him, the sheer, suffocating emptiness, the wasted potential. With a violent, cathartic stroke, he obliterated board finance meeting. As he did, a faded photograph slipped from the journal. A younger, unknown woman, expression unreadable, before a grand, dilapidated theater. Who was she? The image, her defiant smile, stayed with Arthur. He tucked it back, fingers brushing the next lesson. The unseen gardener of your own decay. A chill crept up his spine. The unseen gardener. The image of the woman in the photograph, her defiant smile, stayed with Arthur. He tucked it back, his fingers brushing the next lesson in the journal. The unseen gardener of your own decay. A chill unrelated to the evening air crept up his spine. Decay? Arthur almost laughed. He prided himself on his robust health, especially for a man his age. A brisk morning round of golf was his only real concession to exercise, more a social obligation than a need, he felt. The journal entry from Mr. Thorne, however, was sobering. It detailed a grim period of relentlessly neglecting his health for what he then deemed urgent business, only to be struck down by a sudden, debilitating illness that stole years in a single night. Arthur, feeling largely invulnerable, dismissed it. Such things happen to other people. The very next day, perhaps spurred by Lyra's earlier comments about living fully, Arthur was determined to prove his undiminished vitality. On the golf course, he pushed himself, trying to keep pace with associates easily 20 years his junior. Foolish ego. On the 9th hole under the unforgiving midday sun, he collapsed, a searing pain ripping through his chest, gasping for air. Later, in the stark, sterile atmosphere of a private hospital room, his stern-faced physician, Dr. Anya Sharma, delivered the verdict. Severe angina. A warning shot, Mr. Ainsworth, she stated, her voice leaving no room for deflection. Your body is a garden. For decades, you've diligently planted weeds of stress and neglect. Continue, and there'll be no harvest left to enjoy. Your choice. Her words mirrored Thorne's with eerie precision. Terror, cold and sharp, pierced Arthur's denial. Mortality wasn't a distant concept anymore. It was a palpable presence. During his slow, frustrating recovery at home, he examined the mysterious photograph again. Turning it over, he noticed a small, almost invisible inscription. Orpheus Theater opening night, 1958. My star, Elara. Elara. Unfamiliar, yet it resonated. As he pondered, confined to his armchair, rage and then despair washed over him. The telephone rang, shrill. His estranged daughter, Clara. Her voice ice. I heard what happened, she said. Don't expect me to come running. The line went dead. Arthur was breathless with a different, deeper pain. The doctor's words, Clara's rejection, Elara. It all swirled. He fumbled for the journal. Thorne's next chapter, the poison of unspoken forgiveness. The echoes in an empty room. The doctor's words, Clara's rejection, the name Elara. It all swirled in Arthur's mind, a confusing vortex of fear, regret, and now, fresh intrigue. He fumbled for the journal, its worn leather a surprisingly steady anchor. Thorne's next chapter was titled, The Poison of Unspoken Forgiveness. Forgiveness? Arthur snorted. Clara was the one who had slammed the door. Or so he'd always told himself. A convenient narrative hardened over 5 long, silent years. Thorne's entry offered no such easy comfort. It spoke of a bitter feud with his own brother, a silence stretched across decades, culminating in the crushing weight of realizing, too late, that pride is a lonely bedfellow. The words resonated. Arthur vividly remembered his last, explosive fight with Clara. Harsh words, accusations. Her tear-streaked face, vowing never to return. 5 years of echoing silence in his heart. Driven by Thorne's words and a new, desperate fear of dying unreconciled. A fear his brush with mortality made all too real, Arthur found Clara's number. His fingers trembled. His first call, I'm busy. He left a halting voicemail. Clara, I need to talk. About us. He mentioned the journal, a voice from the past making him see things differently. Days later, she agreed to meet. A neutral cafe. The air was thick, awkward. Clara guarded, eyes holding years of hurt. This time, Arthur didn't defend. He listened. As she poured out grievances, his emotional absence, disapproval of her music. You were always present, Dad. Her voice trembled. But never truly there. The distinction, a fresh wound. Then, unexpectedly, her own regret. I should have tried harder too. Inherited your stubbornness, I suppose. The tension eased, a fraction. He saw a flicker of his late wife, Evelyn, in Clara's pained expression. As they parted, Clara hesitated. That theater in the photo, the Orpheus? She asked, voice softer. Mother used to talk about it. Said a part of her soul was left there. Arthur was stunned. Evelyn connected to Elara and this theater? Clara's words echoed. A new, perplexing piece in a puzzle he didn't understand. He turned to the journal, seeking solace, and found Thorne's next lesson: the deliberate cultivation of light, the seeds of unexpected light. Clara's words about the Orpheus Theater echoed in Arthur's mind. A new, perplexing piece in a puzzle he didn't understand. He turned to the journal, seeking solace, the deliberate cultivation of light. Light? The world felt grayer than ever, despite the fragile truce with Clara. How could one cultivate light in such darkness? Thorne's journal described combating despair by seeking small, deliberate sparks, finding unexpected purpose. Arthur, weighed down by his near-death experience and the unresolved mystery of Alara, found himself drawn to a derelict patch of land behind an old community center. Its location subtly hinted in a margin note by Thorne. Overgrown, forgotten. He learned it was once a vibrant community garden, shut down years ago. One afternoon, on impulse, he pulled a weed. Then another. Soon, he was clearing a small patch, the physical exertion a strange comfort. Mrs. Petrov, an elderly, eccentric neighbor, watched suspiciously, then joined in, grumbling about idle hands. They bickered but worked. Others drifted in. Mateo, a quiet teenager, sketching plants. Samira, a laid-off chef, talking of growing herbs. Arthur, for the first time in years, wasn't giving orders but sharing effort, covered in dirt, actually laughing. A genuine laugh. Together, they unearthed an old, weather-beaten sign, Thorne's Harmony Garden. Arthur stared, shocked. This was Thorne's garden. Later, clearing a collapsed shed, Mateo found a small, rusted tin box. Inside, among dried flowers, another photograph, Alara, from the Orpheus photo, unmistakable. But this time, laughing arm in arm with a man who looked startlingly, uncannily, like a younger Arthur. Arthur's blood ran cold. He didn't recognize the man as himself. Not truly. Who was this mysterious doppelganger with Alara in Thorne's garden? The face in the photograph, so like his own, yet not, haunted Arthur. Sleep offered no escape. He picked up Thorne's journal, his heart heavy. The final lesson was stark. The gentle art of release. The unburdening of a ghost. The face in the photograph, so like his own, yet not, haunted Arthur. Sleep offered no escape. He picked up Thorne's journal, heart heavy. The final lesson. The gentle art of release. Release? How could he release this consuming mystery? This ghost from the past wearing his face. This tangled web of family secrets. Impossible, it seemed. Thorne's final entries were achingly poignant, detailing his painful process of letting go. Of possessions become burdens, of old roles, of regrets poisoning the present. And finally, of his own life's narrative as he knew it, making space for a different story. Arthur looked around his grand, silent house. A mausoleum. He was clinging to his old identity, Arthur Ainsworth, CEO. A stranger now. The Harmony Garden, its people, his fragile bond with Clara. These felt more real. The new beginnings he craved demanded this. He made a decision. Terrifying. Liberating. He would sell the house. Sorting through Evelyn's old possessions, he found a hidden compartment in her antique writing desk. Inside, yellowed with age, letters tied with a faded blue ribbon. From Alara. His breath caught. Alara, Evelyn's estranged older sister. A gifted singer who ran from their strict upbringing to pursue dreams at the Orpheus Theater. The man in the photo with Alara? Not his doppelganger. Evelyn's first love, Thomas, a musician she'd reluctantly left for the stability Arthur offered. Thorne, Alara's letters revealed, was her mentor, confidant, even trying to help Evelyn reconnect. Evelyn had carried this secret, this heartache, for decades. Emotional freedom wasn't just about his own past. Arthur finally understood. The ghost wasn't just Thorne's, or Alara's, or Thomas's. It was Evelyn's hidden sorrow. His own idealized, incomplete image of their past. Releasing the past, all of it, was the only way. Weeks later, house sold. A portion of funds restoring the Orpheus Theater. Now a community arts center managed by Clara. Arthur stood in Thorne's Harmony Garden. The late sun warmed his face. He held Thorne's journal, pages filled, save the last, stubbornly invitingly empty. What now? The sun warmed Arthur's face in Thorne's Harmony Garden. The restored Orpheus Theatre, now vibrant under Clara's guidance, stood as a testament to new beginnings. He uncapped a pen, the blank page of Thorne's journal inviting his own story, writing a new verse. The sun warmed Arthur's face in Thorne's Harmony Garden. The restored Orpheus Theatre, now vibrant under Clara's surprising and adept guidance, stood a few blocks away, a proud testament to new beginnings, to family secrets finally seeing the light. He smiled, a genuine smile, crinkling his eyes. He looked around the thriving garden, a riot of color and life, a living monument to second acts and the unexpected purpose found in simple things. Mrs. Petrov, scowl softened, argued good-naturedly with Samira over tomato staking. Mateo, no longer solitary, taught children to draw. And Lyra, weaker, yes, but propped against an oak, painting fiercely, eyes still blazing. Connection, purpose, peace, no longer abstract, the fabric of his days. Clara arrived, smile bright, handing him a flyer. Opening night next month, Dad. Her affection, a sweet ache. The Evelyn and Alara Ainsworth Community Theater, inaugural season. The Lazarus Journal. It had given him back his life, not by magic, but by guiding him through the hard one, often painful wisdom of truly living. He no longer just counted his years, he was finally making his years count. Thorne's 5 lessons weren't just one man's musings. They were universal truths, timeless, waiting. This transformation was his legacy of wisdom. He opened the journal to its final, empty page. The journey, a labyrinth of regret, revelation, redemption. He uncapped his pen. Lesson the first, my own. He began. It's never too late, is it? Never too late to pick up the pen, to look within, and begin writing a new, more authentic verse for your life. A verse filled with the meaning you choose to give it. What will your first line be?